Okay, let's start it. So, good morning for those who will be watching us on YouTube. Maybe good evening, good day. My name is Angelina Demilkhanova, and today I will be talking about some interesting research actually that we did many years ago with my teacher, with my supervisor. But I know that in Russian-speaking countries he is well known, but in English-speaking countries, people maybe they know him because I know that he was a part of New York Academy of Science, as I know. But anyway, part of us who are today, we were pupils of Aron Brudny. And today my talk actually will be about book we write together. But when we finished writing the book, actually he died before we finished writing this book. And today Nina Aronovna, she is a scientific editor. Yeah, scientific. How should I? Научный редактор, scientific editor of our book. So she kind of helped to finish this book after Aron Abramovich died. Why I'm talking about Aron Abramovich Brudny? Because actually he was a philosopher. I'm a psychologist. The concept of virtual reality was part of his. I wouldn't say research, actually. Research it was in my work, yeah, that we did together with him, but that was part of his maybe thoughts, ideas, and etc. Because he was representative of existentialism, yeah. But the word virtual is not modern. Maybe you have heard this. Like virtual reality and etc. But virtual is not like a new word. It actually came to us from philosophy. But I will tell later what I want to do now. I want to actually to share screen and I want to show you the picture. Okay, so this is my teacher, not only mine. Here are some people, so as I said, of my teacher. And as you can see, this is page from Russian Wikipedia. Unfortunately, we don't have English version, only two languages. Here also describe him as a philosopher and scientist, as Kyrgyz language and Ukrainian language. And this is his picture. Actually, he died in 2011. And he was famous, as I told before, Soviet and Kyrgyz psychologist and philosopher. I'm just giving translation, yes, on this Wikipedia page. But you can have a look, yeah, on this things on Wikipedia. Now, with the help of AI, thanks God, with the help of virtual reality, different tools of virtual reality, we can do translation, yeah, of these things without knowing a language. So all our desires now are possible. Not maybe all, but most of them are possible now. Okay, so you know each other, but maybe if you want to say hi or tell something, you can introduce yourself while I'm just opening my presentation. Maybe some words. Do you know anything about, by the way, computer games? Maybe you do playing to computer games because actually topic is about computer games. So please share your experience. What do you know? Yeah, what do you expect? Why you came? Where are you from?
Yeah, I can start. My name is Alena. I'm from Bishkek. I am a practical counselor. What would be the proper word to say? Uh, I do some training and teaching as well. And computer gaming has become something in my uh, universe recently as something new. I have a son. He's 12 years old, and one of his recent hobbies has become computer gaming. And for me, that's kind of like a personal challenge. I have read the book when I learned about the lecture. So yeah, looking forward to talk about it and hear maybe some more ideas. Yeah, otherwise the whole idea of digital and yes, digital game seems interesting and yeah, I suspect that there are a lot of deeper things than just entertainment going on there.
Okay, cool. So you consider computer games as entertainment, yes? Am I right?
Um, I suspect that there is more in that than just entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
exploring,
I'm
just
just
beginning
curious,
to
yeah,
explore.
because usually people consider computer games as some entertainment, but not in a good sense, that it's like, oh, it's just
Um, yeah,
curious before I start. O-
slowly forming my opinion and just getting into the whole.
Okay.
I don't play myself. Somehow,
Okay.
this thing has not
That's
touched
fine.
me. Even the something in my mobile, I don't have it. So that's
Okay. Thanks. Who wants to say something else about computer games? What brought you here?
We should say that the book is about role.
Role computer games. Yeah, yes, role computer games. Yeah, it's a kind of definite type of game. Yes, 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 I will tell
Yes,
that later.
RPG or something.
No, RPG it's in computer game classification, but we consider them as role computer game. It's more psychological classification when the person has this possibility and opportunity to see a character, to be a character, to choose a character. So it's not like because there are some types of games now where there is no character. Yeah, it's like some online casino. You can play cards and etc. What else? I don't know, like Tetris. But we were considering role computer games, but these games were different genres. You know that there are RPG in computer classification. There are some other type of games like shooter. It's also role computer game from psychological perspective because the shooter, I mean, we can see the character. Okay, Nina Aronovna, but do you have any experience playing games?
No, I
No,
don't.
cards.
But
It's
I observe
also
my grandchild and
okay.
mm, other kids around me who do play, and they prefer exactly these personages that they like to tune, or how they say in Russian, прокачать, and so on. So they are in some relationships with these personages, and it depends. And my granddaughter, she prefer usually the evil
Characters. The evil.
characters. Yes, she's kind of. So it's interesting. Why?
Mhm. Okay. Thanks. Who who wants to share else?
After
Eh,
writing the book, I can guess why, but still,
Yes, yes, but but please don't do spoiler.
I don't.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yes, Ruslan, you
I'm
want to
very
continue?
bad at playing games,
Okay.
computer games. That's the reason I don't like them. I'm interested in Baudrillard and his Society of Consumption. I'm familiar with the research, but I perceive it not through the Lacanian point of view,
Mhm.
Mostly,
but
mostly from Lacania.
yeah, it is based on Lacanian, but I'm interested if we could reevaluate it through Baudrillard's point of view
Let's
as
try. I think it would be interesting discussion then.
as a sign of a consumption,
Mhm.
consumerism society. Uh, the main clash between the research on computer games and
Mhm.
Baudrillard's point of view is that we're going to talk a lot about Lacan и привязка к зеркалу, вот это the stage of,
Mirror stage.
Mirror,
yeah,
Yes.
mirror
what's that
state.
in English?
Yes. Mhm.
The joke about that is that Baudrillard says, while you all study Lacan and mirror, uh, please remember that mirror doesn't exist anymore. The mirror was changed by, не знаю, витрина, shopping window. У
Mhm.
нас больше нет зеркала, зеркало заменила витрина.
Mhm.
So I think that's the main clash in two theoretical schools. So
Mhm.
maybe we can look at the findings at different perspective.
We can, but okay. Let's first
listen. Yes, because
yeah,
because it's not. I can understand it's not really fair because as I can understand, some of people they were reading our book. Okay, we were
yeah.
writing it, yeah, but some of them you were reading this book. But some of you, and I know people who will be watching us, especially English speaking, yeah, guys who are asking me to record this lecture, they even don't have such opportunity to read it because the book now is only in Russian. We have some papers in English, but they're not kind of course, represent the whole idea as book. So that is why let's maybe just tell me short what is your relationship with computer games, what do you want to hear, and then I will do my presentation and then we discuss yes the results and all the things. Okay.
And I
Thanks.
suggest to discuss Lacanian point of view.
Yes,
And
yes.
skip this.
Baudrillard. Yes. Is it
not
just
not Baudrillard. We
yes,
didn't write about that.
yes, yes.
Skip Jungian.
No, yes, exactly. I didn't put Jungian part here. It's only about Lacanian part. And I add some details on my research that I started to do recently from interview. It's exactly about Lacanian point of view also. Okay, who wants to tell?
So I want to just share about my nephew. He is 6 years old, and he's really good at the tank game. I guess it calls like tank, yeah. So, but after gaming and after he like reach some level, it's like maybe like middle level, I recognize that he is really getting good of the orientation. For example, in the game zone, he clearly understand what he should to do. So maybe it's like how game can affect to children there, or maybe for person who is really good. Maybe the beginner level is not like so many getting like a skill that they are using in the daily life, but after reaching some level, like middle or upper intermediate or like high level, it getting like skills that they are using in their daily life. I think so.
Okay, yeah. Idea, I like it. So anyone else?
My name is Nuria, and I'm also from Bishkek. I'm psychology student, and I don't play video games now, but I used to play as a child, and it was not role games. It was world open, like Minecraft and etc.
Yes, it's by the way, it's also really interesting type of games with open worlds. They are very famous now. They were not so popular when we started to do this research. I believe because there was some technical limitation. So now virtual reality giving us a lot of things. Okay, I have to do this sharing again. So this is the name, yeah, of the lecture. Digital. Actually, Doppelgangers. It's a German word. It's a word for doubles. I was not sure how to translate, to be honest, this word from Russian into English because in Russian language we say this word like двойник. So in English, there are several words that describe this term. It can be doubles, it can be also twins, as I can understand. But the word doppelgangers, I'm sorry, I don't speak German. I hope I pronounce it correctly. It's German again, I'm repeating. That exactly the word we need for translation of the name of our book also. So it's a double, yeah, in English, I believe this word also more suitable for this. How games define our identity. Okay, so as I mentioned already, the word virtual. The word virtual came to us not recently. So this word existing from 15 centuries, yes. And this word virtual means that something has to appear. So be it something in essence or effect, it's not actually happened. So something possible, if I can say like that. And only in 1959, this word virtual people started to use in in terms of computers, yeah, because computers appeared, as we know, in 20th century. They didn't exist before. But the term virtual reality, this term appeared actually also in last century, in the late 80s, yeah, when Jérôme Lanier, he is actually was a researcher, yeah, of VR technologies. So he had his company. He kind of for the first time he used this term, and he understood this term like something that created with the help of computer technologies. Yes, something that really similar to reality, but not reality itself. So, and since then we use this term, yeah, virtual reality. And actually, there are many definitions and many angles how we can see this word. But what we did in our book, we can, of course, if you read it or read it, you saw, yeah, things. So we explained why we kind of highlight three main ideas how people understand this term. Yeah, so there are some technical perspective, there is technical perspective, psychological perspective, and philosophic perspective. But what kind of makes this unique that it's not like a new definition we invented. Yeah, we just used this definition in our book and in our research that virtual reality is a technologically constructed space that is perceived as genuinely existing. So this is a really important sense. So I really believe and see that this exists. Okay. And from technical perspective, for example, how we understand this virtual reality. Of course, it's, I don't know, computer. They have different options. And if you had computer 20 years ago and if you have your personal computer now or laptop, you can see the difference. Yeah, it really has different opportunities now. And the more technologies kind of developing, more possibilities I can have with this, yeah, computers. Like, for example, artificial intelligence, yeah, we discussed recently. That for example, before to create this PowerPoint presentation, I need to use only PowerPoint, and I, for example, downloaded some pictures from internet and etc. But you can see these PowerPoint presentations. Actually, it was designed by AI. Not fully. I mean, of course, I did it. Yeah, but anyway, these pictures you can see is like they created already by artificial intelligence. And in that sense, from technical perspective, virtual reality relies through screens and mirrors. So this is metaphoric. Yeah. I mean, you see the screen, you see, I mean, it's literally all of us, we're now looking at the screen. We are not in one room. But this also mirror in metaphorical sense, yeah. And if something happens, for example, I don't have electricity now or something broken in my laptop, immediately the virtual reality stop to exist. And in that sense, there is kind of this point of view on how to say hierarchy of this reality. So from technical point of view, from technical perspective, the reality that created with computers is always kind of secondary to actual reality. And if something happens in this reality, I told already, yeah, I don't have opportunity to experience this virtual world. And okay, next. Okay, philosophical perspective, yeah. So from a philosophical perspective, there are different also points of view on understanding of virtual reality, but we took this part that about possibilities. Yeah, so from philosophical perspective, the virtual reality is a space of possibilities. So do you understand? Yeah, this is just in case if you want to have some questions, it is not necessary to wait till the end, okay? Or if you want to comment something, just let me know. I mean, we can discuss, I can answer immediately. Yeah. Yeah, we kind of consider here also work of Slavoj Žižek. Maybe you know some of them. You know, yeah, this scientist. He kind of was describing virtual reality like reality, but without substance. So it's like I'm kind of drinking sometimes coffee. You know, yeah, that. There are such type of coffee without caffeine. Yeah, so it's like I'm drinking decaffeinated coffee. It tastes and it smells like coffee, but it's not a coffee. So from that point of view, it's kind of so it's real. I don't know how to explain it, but the main idea here, actually, English language explain these things really good because there is such type of things like immersion and like simulation, yeah, and virtual reality it helps us. It's kind of it's not simulation, it's immersion. So it simulates something that doesn't exist sometimes in real world. And with this immersion, this feature of virtual reality is very important. I feel sometimes presence in computer game like it's really happening in my life now. So this border sometimes some gamers were describing me this experience, yeah, this border between actual reality, let's call it like that, and virtual world sometimes very blurred. And if they play in a lot of hours and then they stop playing and they kind of going outside into the city, they're walking on the streets, but still they kind of mind in the game, they continue to do move, and these buildings they sometimes consider like a map from the game. You know, maybe some kind of games they have this different type of maps. Sorry, it's like Counter-Strike, for example, Dota, and etc. I'm not also kind of super gamer, but I have some experience to play some computer games like role computer games like Mortal Kombat, you know, yeah, this kind of game, Mortal Kombat, and what did I play? Counter-Strike, of course, Need for Speed, and some simulators. Simulators is like some, for example, you are driving a car, but it's not a character that has some story, but you literally try to learn in this game how to drive a car. But this game's a little bit different than people who play all computer games. And why I remembered about this, so it's property of virtual reality, immersion, it really sometimes can have this influence on real self of the player. It brings some symbolizations and symbolizations to this virtual double or doppelganger that I will be talking later. Because sometimes gamers, when they have this opportunity to choose a character, sometimes they really choose it like a new image of themselves. Not like I'm real, but something that I don't have now, I want to be, and etc. From psychological aspect, virtual reality understood as an artificial transformation of reality. It's like when I'm dreaming, I have some fantasies. When I use some drugs, I drink alcohol. So in that sense, you also may have this experience of being in a virtual world. So it's not necessary to play computer games. So did you get this part? And in that sense, virtual reality can become a tool for projecting hidden qualities. For example, if I'm sometimes aggressive, but I don't want to show this aggression in real life, or even I don't realize that I have it. So when I play, I kind of choose a character, and it helps me in that sense, yeah. Or if I'm not brave enough, I can choose a character, and I'm very brave. One of my participant of my research recently, he was telling me that when he was playing, his older brother told him, you know that in real life you kind of do this decisions very slow, you're always doubting. And in the game, you do the same thing. But he was teenager then, and he was telling, okay, so in the game I'm doing the same in the same thing, but to win in the game for him was very important. And he he was telling that I really started to do this decision in this game very risky. And anyway, in spite of this risky decision, we were warning. And then he was telling that in real life, it helped me later a little bit to be in this decision more sure in myself. Not really like he doesn't have any doubts. Anyway, he is still very cautious in taking decisions, but not so cautious as he was before. And yeah, so did you get this part of where people sometimes play these computer games. Also, it can be from psychological aspect when we play in these games. So we can realize that our desires, our wishes can come true in this virtual world. It's a manifestation of desires. And sometimes people, they play in these computer games because they want to experiment with their identity. So they try to use different roles, different characters. And one of my participants, they also were telling that he is old, not old, actually old. He is 40 now. He is 40 and he is playing for more than 20 years, 25 years, or even 30 years he is playing. Sometimes he plays, sometimes he's not playing, but he was telling that one period of his playing, he was using only girls as characters because he not like he wanted to be a girl, but anyway, he wanted to use something different than he looks like. And he also was joking that it's really pleasant to watch on a girl on the screen than on a boy when you are playing. But experiments with identity can be really different in that sense. Okay, now I believe maybe a more complicated part for you. I'm not sure. Tell me, please, who doesn't know anything about Jacques Lacan and his mirror stage? So you don't know anything. Just please tell me, do we have such people who don't know even the name of this philosopher, Jacques Lacan? Do we have such people here today? So everyone knows Jacques Lacan. Okay, cool. I'm glad. So why I'm kind of telling these things? Actually, I'm telling everything that is written in our book. So it's just literally this presentation repeats the chapters of our book. And as you understood, probably you have heard, this small discussion at the beginning that we mentioned these philosophers like Lacan and Baudrillard, but we used the Jacques Lacan theory in our research and in description of virtual reality and etc. So just if you don't know, yes, I will try to do it very short. I hope you will be able to understand. So from a point of view of Jacques Lacan, we kind of have three orders. How to say it's like yeah, three. So our psychic and how we understand the reality, we can see from three perspectives. Let's call like that. How I interact with reality. I don't know how I exist.
Three dimensions.
It's a dimension, yeah, true. It's like, yeah, it's a dimension, yeah, but he used this word order, порядок, да, почему-то, but it's the dimension, yeah. So the symbolic order, this is language, the rules, the norms that exist in society. But in virtual reality, how we can see the symbolic order, it's the rules of the game. Yes, it's like there are some special laws how to play, and for example, in some games, definite character has definite features. Like he is, I don't know, he can do only this move, he can shot only like that, and etc. Okay, so the imaginary order is how individual perceives of themselves in the world. In games, it takes the form of a character that reflects that sense the player's personality. It's like my virtual self. And the third dimension, yeah, the third order is the real. This is something that that can't be symbolized. It's invisible part. Usually, we can't describe this dimension with words. I don't know. It's like if you die, the death, yeah, can be the example of this real. But anyway, if I now start to describe this death, it will be with the help of words. Yeah, I will anyway. I will symbolize this. But this part of our psychic, our I don't know, internal world, that something that can be symbolized, can be controlled. I don't know. Sometimes people say that in psychology they associate these things with traumas. You know, this is very modern and fashionable concept psychology now. Did you get, yeah, these things? Because I think it's more complicated, yeah, this real one, the real or the real dimension. But in a virtual gaming environment, the real is a virtual, in gaming environment, this concept of real is absent. I mean, in computer games, because there are always some rules there. But some of you mentioned that you were playing these games with open, they call it like open world. And they just appeared recently because when we did this research, we didn't have many of these games. I even don't know if they existed or not that time, these games with open world, because we did our research, how many years ago? 20, in 2005, I believe, 20 years ago. So yes, 20 years ago. And in that sense, if you were playing that time any computer game, there were no any real dimension, real order in the games. But now I believe the computer developers, they trying somehow to develop this idea when they in computers they create such type of maps and such type of worlds where there are no some, I don't know, there is no, but anyway there is rules because they create. I mean, it's something they create. It's a program anyway. I mean, you can't create something that this program doesn't have. But this open world, it's like you choose a character, you can create this character, you can create your own story, but anyway, this story is, it's in the script of the game. So I don't know how to explain. I hope you did get it. But the only thing when I, for example, can see how it realizes this thing in computer games is, for example, when technical perspective on understanding virtual reality becomes on the first place. For example, my video card doesn't allow me to play this game. Yeah, so, and it's like, oh, I kind of have to stop. Or electricity was turned off and I was not able to save kind of the stage where I was. So my character died or something like that. Because accidentally my character can't die in this in this virtual world. Okay, so did you get this idea? Because it's something that not predictable. And we were defining and not defining, we were understanding the virtual reality from also this kind of perspective of Lacanian theory. So we took not only his very famous, maybe you know this, how they call it, I forgot, mirror stage. But also, yeah, this part. Okay, I don't know how to be short, but I will try. Okay, so in that sense, constant presence in virtual world can influence on the player real self. Yes, and it can help us to make our own double that we have in our psychic visible on this mirror on the screen. Yeah. Sorry. This is some on this actually page. You see, you can see some quotes from the book. So if you kind of have this opportunity to read the book. But now I was telling that we don't have this English version, but we didn't translate it yet. But anyway, I again remind you that you can translate this with the help of artificial intelligence if you want to read something. And this quotation I really like. Yeah, the game character existing outside of the real, yet possessing the symbolic and the imaginary odors, become a kind of healthy reflection distinct from the monstrous double of paranoia. So this quotation from Lacan work, because sometimes our doubles, can be like evil doubles. I will explain later, sorry. I mean, I'm again, trying to tell you like you already know about this mirror stage. Okay, the concept of doppelganger, doubles. So I won't tell the full history of this word because there are some mysterious part, philosophical and la la la. But what we need. So in that sense, concept of doppelganger has deep historical roots, ranging from ideas about the soul to contemporary robot doppelgangers and social media profiles. So these things like robots, avatars, like spirits like kami, in Japanese culture, the kami, the word that each part of nature has his double, like a spirit double. Yeah, it's also doubles. But what we need now is this psychoanalytical perspective, this Jacques Lacan mirror stage, because he says that in our development, when we are born to this world, we kind of have this possibility and opportunity to meet this double in real. I mean, in real, but it's metaphoric. I mean, I will explain. So from the point of Jacques Lacan, all of us, we have here this possibility to meet our own double. If you want to kind of read about this more, you can read this work of Jacques Lacan, The Mirror Stage as a formative of the function of the ego as revealed in psychoanalytic experience. It exists like paper, but you also can read it. I don't remember which seminar. It's like first or second book of Jacques Lacan seminars. But if you will be reading in Russian, it's actually first or second book of Jacques Lacan seminar that were translated in Russian. В конце, so at the end of this book, but I'm not sure about the English version. So, okay. Do you know anything about this stage? Because some of you, I believe, you were studying developmental psychology, and you now are students of university. Maybe you know something. Did you hear anything about mirror stage? Okay. I will also try to do it short. So this is a development stage that starts at 6 months and finishes approximate at 18 months. And infants begin to recognize their reflection in the mirror as a unified self rather than their fragmented bodily experience before. In that sense, this stage helps us also to create the ideal self. And if we remember about these orders, so that I already mentioned, not orders or dimensions, yeah, how we decided to call them. It's on this stage we have imaginary and when this stage finishes, we go very close to symbolic order. But anyway, it's very, how to say, it's not really, it's very conditional, yes, because anyway, we are born in this world already in symbolic order. But this mirror stage plays a really important role in imaginary order. And so three key effects of the mirror stage, yeah, misrecognition. The reflection is not the child, but becomes their self-image. Permanent tension. The real self versus the idealized image creates lifelong psychological dynamics. And to go through this mirror stage, we need external validation. So it's like someone who says us, yeah, that it's kind of that it's you. Okay, does it make any sense? Because I'm trying to be very fast and very short because I understand the meaning of this mirror stage. But did you understand something about what how is important this mirror stage? So it's like literally when I'm looking in the mirror and I see the double, I see the reflection of myself there. But when I'm small, I don't understand that this reflection is me. But this adult or someone who is near with me, who can tell me that look at this mirror on this reflection, it's you. Then I understand that on this reflection in this mirror, it's me, and I kind of build the image of myself, and I can create after the ideal self also. Did you get?
Yes.
Okay. Here, sorry. This is mechanism how it's kind of happening. You can see, yeah, on the screen now. And what we have in computer games, maybe you already can guess, yeah, in that sense, that a computer game sometimes repeat, yeah, this developmental stage, but in metaphorical, yeah, sense. So when I look on a display, it's a virtual reality. Yeah, I can see my computer character, my computer personage. Yeah, and with the help of this mechanism like projection and introjection, I can rebuild something. It's also the word rebuild is very metaphorical. Yeah, so it's like if I had something that it's not enough in me. I don't have some features. I mean, I don't have in reality something that I really want to have. So with the help of these computer games, I can reconstruct these things in me. Did you get this? It's really important because you know why I was asking you what is your relationship with computer games? Not only in terms of your experience, but some people and some research, they prove that to play computer games is a really bad thing. But it's not always like that because we were trying in our research to highlight this different part that sometimes to play in this role computer games. Yeah, we were telling at the beginning that it's really important to play role. I mean, we consider in our book role computer games. So the game where I have this possibility to choose an avatar or character. This game they can have positive influence, and people sometimes they can stop playing. Because I was working for 20 years with drug and alcohol addiction, and now exists this concept that there is addiction from computer game. Actually, when we did our research, I remember the things we also were telling that, it's computer addiction, yeah. So it was more than 20 years ago. But later, when we were writing a book, we reconsidered, our point of view, and we were telling it's like it's not low. So, I mean, if even in some cases there are some signs of addiction, it can be really useful. But why I remembered about my experience, sometimes when people were asking me to do some psychotherapy or to do some psychological evaluation of people who are playing a lot, in most cases, actually not in most, in all cases I had, so if even they play a lot and they were considered like a computer addicted person, they had different diagnosis in background. So not it's like this word maybe comorbidity. So but it's not like the game was the main thing why they had such features. So did you get these things? I'm sorry if you have some questions. I don't see it's here on the screen because I see full screen. Maybe you can tell me. Do we have something in chat? Okay, I don't have. Do you have some questions now? Is it clear? Yeah. Okay.
No questions. Everything is clear. Yeah.
Okay. Continue. Again, here are some quotation, but I don't want to stop on the spot because it's really very deep and not so easy to tell if you don't know something about Jacques Lacan. But anyway, participating in a role-playing computer game can compensate in that sense some things that you didn't have some deficiency. And when you are playing to this game, you see this third figure in the mirror, and it's like a name of a father, this concept, also Jacques Lacan has. And this third figure in the mirror, it's validating the player achievements and enabling them to identify successfully. And that in that sense, that is why I have this opportunity to reconstruct something that I don't have. Did you get? Let's go further because it's another part. It's also another theory. I'm not sure if you know something about Roger Caillois and his classification of game. Okay, so Roger Caillois is a French anthropologist, and we also used his perspective when we were considering these computer games. So computer games, it's not only about symbolic, imaginary and the real order or dimension, but also we were discussing these things that we are playing different games, not only computer games. Yeah, in that sense, we really like this classification of Roger Caillois, who divided games on 4 types. So there is such type of game like agôn. Agôn is a Latin word, I believe. It's a competition. So these games depend entirely on rules and their observance expressing the symbolic order. So it's like football, chess, and ball games. Yeah, did you get? So in these games, again, I'm repeating from Lacanian perspective, it's a symbolic order, very highlighted. I don't know how to explain. Mimicry. It's another type of game. It's like imitation or simulation. These games involving free improvisation and the pleasure of playing a role, behaving as if you were someone or something else. This is a register of the imaginary from Lacan point of view. In that sense, the subject is substituted for a fictional character. So I'm kind of playing someone that doesn't exist in reality. I can choose this character. Maybe when you were small, you were playing this role. Sorry, not role computer games. When I was small, I didn't play role computer games. We were just playing these role games outside on the street. We were watching movies sometimes. Of course, these martial arts movies. And then we will kind of repeat like, oh yeah, kind of the warriors and etc. But now maybe that is one of the reasons why sometimes I can play only one game. It's like Mortal Kombat, and only very short time, 5 or 7 minutes, and it's literally complicated for me. It's not so interesting in real things. And another type of game, it's alea. Alea. So I pronounce it very in Russian way. Alea. It's games with accidental things where the lack of fate predominate. And from Lacanian perspective is where the real dimension is very highlighted. So these games with chance, luck, and emotion and new bodily sensation. It's like roulette or lottery, this type of game. And before, actually, this type of game didn't exist in virtual world, but now, again, developers, they add this opportunity and possibility. Also, if you're playing a role computer game, sometimes there are something like you have to put donation, or they try to kind of, they do some advertising, so they, but anyway, it's not so direct. But in direct way, we can see these things when it's online casino. Yeah. So it's literally exists some online casino, if to talk not about role computer games. And fourth type of games, it's ilinx or vertigo. It's games that cause an organic state of confusion and distress, such as spinning rapidly or falling. This type is also associated with interference from the real, such as emotions and bodily sensations. I believe you also have experience if you go to some parks with these things. I don't know. Actually, I also liked to do it when I was small. But now people, I believe, they don't play these things much because they have computer games. So, okay, role-playing computer games represent a new category of a game that has never existed before. They combine elements that before previously were absent, like symbolic and the imaginary order, yes, like agôn and mimicry. So in that sense, people can have this experience all in one. And unlike other games such as gambling, where there is an element of chance and it's difficult to separate the rules from the intervention of fate, computer role-playing games help the individual to realize that the imaginary and the symbolic do not exist separately from the real. Without the elements of chance, these games are based entirely on the father's name. So it's again concept of Jacques Lacan, the rules. It's a quotation again from the book, yeah. And the computer role-playing games create a special environment in which players interact with a virtual double mimicry within a set of strict rules and competitions agôn, while eliminating much of the predictability and randomness of the real alea and ilinx. And this makes them attractive, and they offer a predictable and controlled space for identity and personal development. Okay. So you didn't type, yeah? Do you have questions? So it's...
What about augmented reality games? What classification do they belong to?
Which game?
Augmented reality, like Pikachu is running.
The same. I mean, it's the same. It's mimicry and agôn. Because I have kind of some Pikachu, some character that kind of do competition. So in that sense, you know.
So there is no competition in augmented reality games. You just have to find Pikachu
But
there.
I don't know this game because I was thinking when you have to develop some scores.
It's not the competition with somebody, but you have some kind of
course. Yeah.
Yes, purpose, and should gain some, I don't know, prize or something. There is the victory.
Yes, it's such type of game because I'm not sure because you earn some scores, yeah. So you have to find, and it's like, oh, your scores are decreasing. You go to the next stage, yeah. It's like that.
Not really experienced, but I just know that
Okay, yes, it's agôn
people
anyway.
walking in
Yes,
streets
yes.
with their cameras on,
No, it's
looking at the simple objects through their camera, and all of a sudden there is augmented reality, like Pikachu is
it's a
running. You
it's
have to
like a
catch him,
quest.
take a
Okay,
picture
yes,
of.
yes, yes. I know this game. So actually, it's not a real computer game. So we are not talking about this, but it has some component of competition anyway, because there are plenty of these people who can go and to put camera on this object, and you have to be first because you're not the only one who can put camera on this object. Yes, it also has element of competition and agôn, but it's not really computer game. It was very popular many years ago. Yes, I remember Japanese people were playing.
Да,
Yeah,
дополненная реальность. I
yeah.
don't think it falls into any classification
No,
presented before.
it falls into classification because it's if this Pikachu appeared in some accidental way, like
Random way, right?
unpredictable, randomly, yes, that's like something like you're playing cards. You don't know what card and at what moment you will get. I don't see that it's something completely new. That's
Yes, yes, it's not. It's not. Okay, but I mean, it's a good discussion, but let's continue because I mean, it's not really related with our actual, I mean, it's related with classification, but the interested in different things, yeah, because it's really computer games that I play with monitor, with PC or with, I don't know, with these things, and I don't go anywhere, just to see this
no. I
out of.
think mobile phone is might be
Yes, yes, yes. It's
it
a screen.
counts.
Yeah,
When
no, I'm telling about mobile phones, but it's not like when you're running on a real world with mobile phones. I mean, I'm also talking with you now with a computer, but I don't play game. Yeah. So, okay, I mean, it's interesting, but let's continue. Maybe if we have some questions, we will think about this later. But I want to tell you finally about major findings, but I already kind of mentioned some, yeah, that we described in our book. So this kind of since the experiment, it was quantitative and we did it 20 years ago, as I told you, it was in 2005. Actually, the pilot researches we did when we were studying at the university, and I can remember it was early 2000s. And we were given some tests, yeah, in that sense to our gamers. So there's people who were playing a lot computer games, and maybe you remember some of you, because some of you, I believe you didn't have such experience play a lot in computer games, but in early 2000 it was very popular to have computer clubs, to go into computer clubs, because we didn't have internet at home, and for example, to do some research you also have to go to computer clubs. But it was very popular within gamers because you were kind of paying and you kind of playing with other guys there. And so the reason, I remember one of the reasons why I started to do this research, that one of the teachers from the school, they asked us, please help our students, our pupils, they don't attend classes, please check them, something wrong with them. They play a lot to computer games. And we gave them psychodiagnostic tools like some drawing tests, like the test of Timothy Leary, who AMI test, and yeah, that's all. I don't remember. And MMPI test, of course, yes, mini so the short version of this Minnesota multiple personal inventory. I will be very short, okay, because it's kind of already long time I speak. I want to also listen to you, some ideas. So our study showed the presence of the following features. So the main finding that we're really proud of, it's about this doppelganger. That we saw. Usually people don't draw a person, a second person in the drawing test, draw a man under the rain. Maybe some of you know this projective test. I work with this test many years, and as I mentioned, I work with drug and alcohol addicts, and when we use this test there, I never saw that some of them he or she was drawing a second person in this test. But in some cases, there were actually 2 or 3 cases when drug addict drew a second person, and immediately we were discovering that he was a computer gamer. Okay, so we discovered that a picture of double figures in drawing test, and I will show you later. I have these pictures. Also, gamers had some problems with body awareness and gender identification. They were few described themselves in the terms of physical self and sexual characteristic, sexless or female figures in young boys and animals without bodies or with mechanical elements. I'm just giving short description, on this tests. They also had high levels of egocentrism and dominance and self-descriptions. They were describing themselves like I selfish, I like to comment. Awareness of personal immaturity, can find myself in life or searching differences between the real self, ideal self, and virtual self. I mean, they were really different. And you know what sorry, what I liked just yesterday or the day before yesterday, I saw a paper. And this paper, the guys were doing research 5 years ago, and they used this test of Kelly, репертуарные решетки, как он? Repertoire grids? Grids? Repertory grids, yeah, and
Grids.
grids, and they were actually they were did the same that we did many years ago, but of course they didn't know that we did it, and they were describing like, oh, for the first time we describing and see that it's a huge difference between virtual, real, and ideal. But I mean, why I like these things because it's the same results, yes, and it somehow highlights this idea of this series that we can realize something ideal, in computer games. We can realize our desires, or we can compensate something because there are such theories. These results show this, since. And in today's world, the development of virtual reality has greatly increased the number of reflective surfaces, which can make the mirror stage continuous and reinforce the need for identification through the doppelgangers created. So now we can see more doppelgangers in our life. And probably you kind of I mean, not probably, but all of you have these avatars, even now on this Zoom. Some of us has, only we don't have avatars, yeah? Here only names, because sometimes you can use not picture, but also avatar. Okay, and this picture, from this draw a person in the rain test. You see, this how our gamers were drawing these doubles. And as I'm telling you, it's not like I never saw these things before, and I don't see it now when people are drawing. So only if you kind of really, really gamer, in that sense. This test. It's projective one. It's really good one.
Yes.
Okay, it's very few drawings. So we have this idea, yes, Aron, not to repeat this quantitative research, maybe.
Yeah.
If you have someone who are gamers, please let us know. We want to give them the same test, and especially this drawing test. Okay, and that was main scene, and we were kind of telling in that sense that so the virtual reality and computer games give this opportunity. So it's like the repetition of mirror stage. So I remember that Aron Abramovich was telling us like, oh, it's so cool, that. We kind of was somehow in metaphorical also, not in literally direct way, somehow proof, that this mirror stage exists in So this is part of our development, and with the help of computers, it's like a phallic stage. From Freudian perspective, it has repetition when you are a teenager, yeah, and the same thing with the mirror stage. But it's not like something natural. I mean, because computer creates, yeah, this mirror, and in that sense, if it's also kind of metaphorical, not in a really direct way. But if something was not so good on your mirror stage, you have this opportunity and possibility to be on the stage again when you can play computer games. So did you get it? Do you have questions? Oh, okay. And this, I didn't finish to do this interview. I just only started, and I don't have kind of participant from English-speaking countries, only from different Russian-speaking countries. But some kind of short findings. I mean, again, I'm telling I didn't finish to fully analyze it. But what interesting in that sense, because as I mentioned before, there is this concept of computer addiction, but I never saw this person who really has the same exactly symptoms like a drug addict, and he doesn't have any other diagnosis. But now, as I know, in ICD-11, we have this diagnosis like video game addiction. If you want to read about this in Russian, we have with Nina Aronovna paper that we were writing to some medical journal, again, about computer games and Lacanian perspective. If you want to read it, let me know. I will share a link. But actually, you can Google it. It's an open just access. Yeah, just you can kind of type and read. But why I'm telling you this, because there were kind of two opinions. Yeah, that some people they see that there is computer addiction. Some people they say no, there is no computer addiction. So we were kind of in that sense against. And what I saw from this interview, I was interviewing gamers. They were different age, starting from 18 to 50. But my main idea was I wanted to interview the gamers who has this really long experience. Yeah. So my idea was to ask exactly these people because they have huge experience of playing. And before, when we did this research later, I believe 8 years after, in 2013, I was interviewing also some gamers, and I paid attention that they stopped to play these games. And in that sense, that was difference between addiction from substance. Yeah, because if you use some substance, there is no such thing that you stop, because you start to use more and more. Yeah, so it's about tolerance. But what we paid attention that if you play computer games, someday you really stop playing games. So in that sense, it's like we propose that you reconstructed something. You don't need this. And that was also one of my ideas. I wanted to check. And so this from these interviews, yeah, the decrease in gaming activity, primarily accused during the transition from adolescence to adulthood, when people start to work, study, they have family, social responsibilities, take center in their life. In addition, a loss of interest in certain genres, fatigue caused by unfair gameplay mechanics or physical discomfort, it also can play a role. So if I have some problem, this carpal syndrome, so some of them, they were complaining that they stopped playing when they had this syndrome when your arm is shaking. But anyway, then they kind of continued to play. They didn't stop fully, but people, they really stopped playing. These guys whom I'm interviewing, and they were now 30, 35, 40, and 50. So there were several of them. They were started to play at 5 or 6 years old, and they were stopping playing in teenager when they were 16 or 17. But people who are younger, for example, just a couple of girls, they just recently started to play. They don't have much experience, just only 5 years experience. They don't stop playing yet, but the reason why they play, one of them, she was telling that because of her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is a gamer. That is why she plays computer games with him. So it also can, in that sense, influence, these life circumstances, like divorce or new relationship or nostalgia, may lead some players to increase their gaming activity, especially if gaming fulfills their social needs. Like one guy, he was playing a lot since his childhood, and he stopped playing when he was married. He had 3 daughters, and now he is 50, and he was telling when he divorced, he was telling, I just divorced, and I don't have a lot of time, but I do play because I communicate with people there. And I even met with a lot of them in real life. Because they do some friendship, they communicate, they do some competition, etc. So in that sense, he compensate something, that he doesn't have in his life. It's also sometimes somehow kind of proof, these things. So now also some findings, how people choose their character they were describing, so how they choose. So the character is another version of yourself or your ideal self. The character is either instrument or an outside observer. It's like I'm using a character, this definite character, because I can play him very good. I played a lot of times, and he has definite skills. So that is why I use this character, because I want to win, some people, they use characters as an embodiment of desirable traits. I mean, I was telling this since before. This interview just showed the same thing. I didn't do quotations, I didn't finish analyze it. I just wanted to show you that the results are almost the same. I mean, I'm telling almost because maybe we will find something new. Actually, only one thing I found, something new, that one girl, she was telling, I mean, before, I never paid attention to the things, but I mean, and girls and boys are playing, but before only, I don't know why, but people were considering that only boys were playing. But now game production, what they do this open world with, it's like special games for girls. I don't know this game, but one girl, she was describing me this Chinese game. It's very, very popular now. And it's also, by the way, not free. I mean, so to choose a character there, you have to pay, and people are paying. So, but in this game for girls, because not only for girls, I mean, of course, I'm sure everyone can choose it, but why she was choosing it, it's like there are 6 type of men there, and you can, in this game, you are building relationship with one of them. And it's really like you live a life of a relationship, so you can have experience of your relationship with these guys. And she was telling me, it's like, oh, it's really cool, it's a game for girls, and you can't kind of hear now such words like, oh, you're a girl and you're a bad player. I mean, but I don't know. Several of my interviews, they were girls, and none of them they were mentioned this only on this girl. That was maybe some new. But what I'm telling about, it's the results almost the same. Okay, and when they play, they can explore different aspects of their personality. They try new roles when they choose characters. And
But this is not the main finding of the book.
No. It's not main finding. I'm just telling that it's a new kind of thing that I recently just did. So it's not only about book. I just wanted to repeat, these things. What?
Just Ruslan asked in the chat,
Okay.
the question that is about the main actually finding of the book.
Okay, I will tell later, but I mean, I will finish, and then we will describe, these things. Okay. Это вот. So this one is about the name of a father, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So another thing, I believe it's also interesting, not only about the book we were writing 10 years ago almost, but it's new.
No,
I
yes, of
believe.
course it's
Yeah, so
interesting,
let's,
but
yeah, so it's, I mean, we will come back to
you are
questions.
intriguing us with the main findings.
But I mean, I won't tell us like, oh, the main finding is this thing, that thing. I just was telling this thing already, that we are telling that to play computer games is good. So this was main find, and just, okay, let me finish. And what also, yeah, kind of paid attention that successful gameplay and achievements in the virtual world can increase players' self-esteem in the real world. So this is kind of, sometimes they really tell it's like, yes, I felt it's like really cool. And one of the guys, he was professional gamer, and he became now a professional game designer. But in that sense, it's a really successful case. He earns actually a lot of money. He's game design, but he was playing a lot when he was a teenager, so days and nights, and his parents, of course, were worried that he has some kind of addiction. Most of them, by the way, they tell that yes, exists this computer addiction, but most of them, they tell, no, it's not about us. Yeah, there is one guy who had this addiction, but I didn't have. So it's in that sense, only one girl, she was telling, yes, I was addicted, but in that sense, she wasn't actually. She played not, not so often as according to the time measures you had to play. When you don't have computer at home, you had to play minimum 5 or 6 hours per day, every day during minimum year, and then you can only call it like something from that perspective again. That was many years ago about addiction. And also one of the girls, she told that it's these games, it's like social interaction, safe space. So this game, Love and Deep Space, I don't know, this game is a safe space for girls where they can interact with a romantic interest without having to worry about evil goblins, guys who insult girls. So she was telling the scenes. Okay, and so the process of selecting a character in virtual reality and gaming is really complicated. I mean, it's different. Through this process, players can express their visual preference and strategic goals, search for an ideal self, or simply explore different roles and aspects of identity in a safe and controlled environment. And games can affect on players' emotional state in a variety of ways. So this kind of based on experimental data, and just making a conclusion. So games can evoke positive and negative emotions and serving as an instrument for their regulation, positive affect and coping mechanism. So game can help to relax and distraction the same way. They can help you to have adrenaline and excitement, sense of achievement, and increase self-esteem. Social interaction for some players, socializing with friends and other players via Discord is a key coping mechanism for stress and loneliness. But it also has some negative things like irritation and aggression. Players may become burnout, extremely angry when they lose. Gamers can provoke quarrels between players and even between partners in real life. Like this girl, she was telling me that they were playing with her boyfriend, but because of game, they do a lot of fight in real life. But another guy, he was telling me, I kind of play with my girlfriend because I want to see how she behave. And I believe that when I see her behavior in computer games, I mean, I believe what she does in computer games more than the things she do in real life. So in that sense, he considered that how her character, how she behaves in computer games, it helps me to understand her in real life better. So game can have also cause us stress, disappointment. Anyways, there are some research that consider it's like addiction, disorientation, and physical discomfort. But our idea, actually, I told about these things already, and that because the computer game, it's like a mirror stage, yeah, and because we have this name of a father, it's symbolic object, because there is no place for real, it helps us to reconstruct something that I don't have in real life. That is why computer game can be like a psychotherapist that helped me to cope with something. So this kind of was one of the, it's not like only one main idea. I wouldn't say this because we also considering not only Lacanian perspective. I didn't put this Jungian part, but in book you can also have a read about this Jungian perspective, yeah, that when you kind of play in computer games, you go through the stage. It's like a process of initiation, and in that sense, you somehow grow in that sense. So we consider from that perspective, like computer games, they really can help us. But we are talking again and paying attention about positive, yeah, things. So we are talking about positive things, and we are talking about raw computer games from psychological classification. As if I'm not mistaken, this psychological classification offered Alexander Shmilov when he was divided such type of games, not like computer games. Okay, so questions, or you want to tell something while I'm reading questions, because someone need to read, I see.
I want to tell something. You
Yes,
missed the main
okay,
finding.
yes. Okay, yes, please.
Because actually the main finding was that from Lacanian point of view, why people are playing this game actually and stop playing at some moment, that because we suspect why do they need to repeat this mirror stage? Not all the people need to do it. Not so many people play so much because, as Angelina said, yes, of course, some of teenagers are playing for some, I don't know, hours per week because they want to experiment with their identity and blah, blah, blah. But that's not the people that we were interested in. We were interested in people who spent a lot of time playing. So the main idea was that actually the name of father and the third figure, when you are looking at the mirror, the adult who might be not father or might be not even the male figure, but this is something which is on the both sides of the mirror. It's near me here, and I know about that. How know that small kid that doesn't speak. And I can see the same person in the mirror. And that's why I can guess that this is me. And this third person confirm. And if you look into some videos when the small kids are left in front of the mirror without other figures, they just start playing with this kid in the mirror like with another kid. Without this validation, third validation figure, kids don't understand that it's their image. So actually, they without it's not as Angelina said, it's more metaphorical. Of course, the majority of people, and we don't speak about cultures without mirrors also. It's metaphorical in terms that I do understand that there is the real world and there is the world in the mirror, and the real world and the world in the mirror, they are different. And what the computer gamers actually try to confirm that there is some something solid, there is something real, and they cannot find it in the real world because they missed at some point. And if we look into the personal stories, and as Angelina described the test results, they definitely, in the early childhood, they missed this validation of their real meaning as persons, as somebody who does matter, as somebody who is loved, as somebody who is noticed, and so on. And in order to find this validation, they immerse in this virtual game world, because this world never failed them. There is always rules. Even if I failed the game, I know the rules exist. And they need some kind of saturation of this feeling that the reality is something more or less acceptable, more or less where I can exist within. Because without that, I would be somebody who is looking for these confirmations in other places. And who are these people who are looking all the time for the confirmations from other people? And Lacan was actually a prophet from this point of view, because now we are living in this world of paranoid people who are ready to accept any stupid idea that's just confirm that something is more or less, that something has some meaning and is like, does make sense. And even if it's something crazy. And this is the way to decrease the feeling of uncertainty that we are living with. And I think that now we may have more people playing these games, not because just of personal reasons or personal histories, but because we are living in this very unstable and uncertain situation. And we are looking for something that would explain what is going on. But from Lacanian point of view, the real couldn't be explained. Mm-hmm. That's why the conspiracy theories are very popular now. That's something that at least somehow explain what is going on, because it's so absurd. Mm-hmm. And I think here Lacan and Baudrillard, they are not in contradiction. They are actually what Baudrillard was writing about virtual realities, some simulacra that is help us. We prefer the simulacra because it's more valid, because it's more reliable, because on this side of the mirror, in the real side, I'm living in extremely uncertain and unreliable reality. That's why virtual reality, or instead of mirror that reflect this reality, the shopping window is much more preferable. I know what is behind this window, how much does it cost, what can I get, and that gives me the sense of meaning or something like that. That's kind of I think this shopping window is very close to by function, is very close to computer game in a way.
Yeah.
Ruslan, are you with us?
Sure, listening to you.
Yes.
I'm not so good in Baudrillard texts as you are. So
I understand him a little bit differently, but in Simulation and Simulacrum, he has very interesting chapter about reality. He talks about the Mercedes ride. So basically, I think it's a scene from the movie that he's describing. He says that after the nightclub, in the midst of the night, the Mercedes is driving with a high speed in a highway. On the back seat, there is a couple, a young boy and a female and a male having sex. On the driver's seat.
Слов вам достаточно для общения на иностранном
что ж
языке.
такое-то? Что за телефон дурацкий? Извините.
Вторжение реального.
Вторжение искусственного интеллекта, как подслушивает, он начинает что-то базарить.
Это была симуляция вторжения реального.
We have to accept that there is reality, no artificial intelligence.
Это была симуляция вторжения реального.
Sorry, Ruslan, that's the couple on the back seat.
Yes, they were having sex, and the driver is looking at them.
Если искусственный интеллект подслушивает и начинает говорить,
что ты будешь делать?
Это может быть связано с тем, что он оснащен функциями распознавания речи, speech-to-text и синтеза речи.
Как мне это выключить? Вот скажите.
The driver isn't actually paying enough attention to the road because he is observing this couple through the gadgets. Then, there are control gadgets next to the steering wheel, and he sees the reflection of these people. Also, sometimes the lights from фонари, the street lights, flashes into the saloon of the car and casts the shadows of this couple to the neighboring buildings. And nothing is real in what's going on right now. It's the apex of unreality because the couple doesn't really know each other. They accidentally met at the nightclub. They don't put enough meaning into this sexual intercourse. The driver is not actually looking at this intercourse. He's looking at the reflection of this, etc., etc. So this is the apex of unreal. The story ends by a car accident. The next day, police comes, and there is a long description of these parts of the bodies thrown everywhere. Что во что воткнулось, куда значок от Мерседеса попал и так далее. And Baudrillard says, so that's the real. Да, вот всегда вот consumption ends up with the death, and death is something that cannot be consumed. Да? Если in ancient times we consumed death because we believed that it was kind of a passage to the eternity, to the next life. Nowadays we consume everything, but we cannot consume death. So death is the end of the consumption. I understand Baudrillard a little bit differently here. I think what he wants to say is that our body, our bodily practice is the only way that we can touch the real, only through a bodily experience, through the pain, through some manipulations with the body. Nothing exists. No, all this war starts, all this bodily practices starts in order so that the circus becomes real. So all the wars start for one reason, to make people believe in that simulacra is real. Because at certain point we just fed up with all of this. We know that this is only circus, unless it touches our bodies. When the gun is next to your head, you will believe whatever they want you to believe.
But that's exactly what Lacan
wrote. Yes, exactly, yes, about the real order.
There is no any contradiction because what Lacan wrote, that real is real, and what real is, this is something that we cannot control. And what we want most of all in our lives is to control. And the less reality is controllable, the more we want to do that. That's why if the Freudian era was kind of about neurotics, if some World Wars era in 20th century was in a way Jungian like schizophrenic, the contemporary world is paranoid because the idea to control everything is the best, but the main point of resistance, and for Lacan as well as for Baudrillard, is our body. And I think that's why the phenomenology and existential psychology is getting more and more popular. Me and Angelina, we are working on the paper now, and with another girl.
Merleau-Ponty
about Merleau-Ponty, yes, and phenomenology of the body, and all this corporal experience became more and more important in many research because yes, that's the only access to reality that is left for us. And I think Baudrillard is right here, as well as Lacan is right here. We don't have any other ways to touch something authentic, though I hate the word authentic, but still. That's...
А помните, тоже легенда была про студента, он описывает. Это вот классическая легенда 20 века. Там, there was a student in love with a very rich girl. He couldn't win her heart because he was from another family, poor one. So he makes a deal with the devil. So the devil says, like, if you give me your soul, I will make sure that you marry her. And he signs the agreement, and he discovers that he has a double now. The double comes and acts in the same scenes as he was before. But then disappears in a certain moment so that he doesn't understand that he has a double. The student doesn't understand he has a double. So the double acts differently and wins the heart of this girl. At the end, the student understands that that was a very bad thing, that he has a double now. And he meets this double. And the only way he can't kill this double, он неуязвимый, invulnerable. And the only way he finds out is to break the mirror. He breaks the mirror, he takes a sharp piece of a mirror and kills himself. Only then does he see how the double also dies. Agreement with the devil, doubles appear, sell your soul, etc.
It's not always agreement with the devil. There is the shadow theater play that was in Russian, Evgeny Schwartz wrote it, but I think it's from some fairy tales. I don't know, from some European fairy tales. The sub, how to say, the plot. And this is very close to what you are talking about. That it was not about double, but it was about shadow that separated from the man,
yes,
and became the independent figure, entity. Entity, yes, and yes, it is. It is the I don't know. I don't think that we always have to interpret that in the self-consumption way, because I don't know. I need time to think about that, and maybe read more Baudrillard.
That's a spirit. By the definition, soul is something that cannot be exchanged. And all these fairy tales, as long as you exchange your soul for something else, it stops existence. So I think they were always in the search of something that doesn't participate in this speedy exchange of empty signs. For them, it was the soul. And soul is the entity that cannot be exchanged. And all these fairy tales. And when you talk about doubles, is kind of it's disappearance of soul, first of all. Soul cannot be copied. When you see your double, this means you're soulless. You already consumed yourself. You participated in an exchange of this.
I got what you are talking about. That's just my the most hated by me assumption that which Lacan, following Freud, is the one who is absolutely explicitly denied. And this contemporary idea about subject that is not existing, all your considerations based on the assumption that there is some soul inside me, something authentic, something meaningful, something that is really mine. But if you follow this way of thinking, you will come to the idea of God, because you will not have any validation of this soul. And soul, actually, the word, religious word, first of all. And according to Lacan, the real part of you, the small a object, petit, objet petit a, that's in French, that's the real something that you cannot control within yourself, and you don't know actually what it is. You just cannot know what the real is, because if you know something, you have to symbolize this knowledge. You have to talk about them or write about them, put it in words. But the real, according to Lacan, you cannot put it in words. That's why you cannot actually, the consumption of real is impossible. It's impossible. You cannot use it. That's something that you cannot control in reality. That's death, love, pain, something like that. That's what you actually talked about. But you are helpless before these things. You cannot fall in love because you want to fall in love. You cannot stop being in love because you want to stop being in love, for example. And that's the idea that we have something inside us that can feel or know better or do something that our outside self is false, but we have some inner self which is true. It's such a bullshit, actually. We don't have anything inside us that was not put from outside. So, and you have to live with this thought. And if you choose to some self-consumption, that would be your choice. And if you choose to try to understand what I'm going to do and why, that would be your choice. But it's not because some inner self or soul or something. That's why Jung is so annoyable.
People will be reading.
That's because of this self from the capital S. I don't believe that we have this self. I do believe that we have something inside us that we don't know fully about. We cannot control fully. But what we can do, we can try to build ourselves according to some principles and choices that we choose, to try to reflect what is not completely mine, what was put into me. And okay, it was put into me, but I can decide that I accept this something or I reject this something. I will choose something else. So
you just mentioned the main findings, and
I see that
yes, that I was
Ruslan said
forgotten
that,
completely.
Patriarch said that we already killed the reality. I said that we are trying. That's definitely we do. And we became paranoid because of that, because we want to gain this illusion that we are controlling everything, and this illusion actually is killing the reality. But I think it's still impossible because we are human bodies. We are agents. Sorry, I'm looking much worse than I did several years ago. And I feel
yes, we have to accept something. Yeah, in that sense,
yeah.
as you were mentioning.
We are dying, and my argument was when somebody will stop my aging and help me not to die, when we became immortal, then we will kill reality.
Okay.
Until this moment?
Yes. We can't, yeah. Okay, no, I'm just trying to read other questions because Nuria left and she was asking to answer, and she want to watch it on YouTube. But just to summarize, you were answering before on this question what the main idea, yes, and you also mentioned in this thing that nowadays we are not only playing computer games because we want something stable in this unstable world, but also addiction, real, substance abuse, alcohol abuse, and some concept they consider when we do these things, we want to kind of experience altered state and we are escaping the reality. This is well-known things from last century when all these people were researching this addictive behavior. That addiction is one of the kind of things that we try and
but it's also the way to touch the real
and to cope. Yes, it's also the way to cope.
Not cope, but when I have this bodily sensation because I am drunk, I maybe feel more real than when I'm not drunk, because that is something that helped me to feel my body better, maybe. I don't know, to dance. With
if you are on the second stage, I believe you're going to losing this control to feel your body better, and you kind of have some other diagnosis.
Yes.
So this seems kind of.
That's why we cannot kill reality.
No, it's not about kill reality, but I'm trying to summarize and to highlight the thing that computer game can be useful, and in that sense, it's not a substance abuse and it's not alcohol because it doesn't have such effect on body also, except when you can have this carpal syndrome, but it's also kind of varies. And you mentioned why people stop to play games because we understand something we didn't understand before, we accept something we couldn't accept before, if to just say it's very in a short way. But Nuria was asking, have you noticed any significant changes or trends over the years while conducting this research, different generations? Actually, I didn't notice any changes. It's the same. So that was my idea why I was highlighting the results, and I was making accent on this because there is no difference. The only thing is that computer industry, they kind of try to give us more options, but the main mechanism is kind of the same, yeah, kind of. And the results, we didn't do quantitative research. I don't know if we repeat this things with drawing test. I believe we find some doubles. Maybe we find something interesting. But what I have now, there is no kind of difference. The only thing is when we were young, for example, I was computer appeared in my life when I was 80. Yeah, I mean, I was at school. We had some IBM, and in that sense, it was something new for us. But if to talk about modern generation, you have computers now in your life. So in that sense, you maybe even play earlier than you can. So we all started to play teenagers mostly age, yeah, exactly when these teenager problems, identity or whatever, who I am, what is reality, what is real or not, etc. But now people they're playing games earlier, so it's like when they're small also, and there are and what. It can be really kind in that sense. I understand this computer, how to say, it's a huge business. It's a lot of money because to build good computer games is the same thing to do a cinema. And what now these computer developers they do, they hire real actors to kind of be a character, yeah, in these games. And if you saw some kind of modern computer games, it's I mean the image is kind of very real. But in that sense, technical component helps, but there is no huge difference, player not. And there is no difference between girls and boys also. I didn't notice anything. The only thing that usually people, when they play computer games, they most of them, they use, I'm not most, I'm not kind of telling this, but they prefer to play some male characters, but most characters in computer games, as I know, the majority they men characters. But I mean, there is no difference because anyway, character is a character. It's symbolic and imaginary and etc. Okay, Aida, I'm worried about you because the ladies who were psychologists they left, but you didn't say anything. And this discussion, I believe, could be really complicated with you because people. No, I mean, I'm sure you didn't read Baudrillard and Jacques Lacan, and I hope people who will be watching us, I mean, maybe they somehow familiar, but I think the discussion was useful. But anyway, I'm asking you. So, do you have any questions? I don't know, feedback. What do you want to say something? Because the girls kind of left, they just thanked us and it was interesting. They only asked one question and say us goodbye. But what about you?
So first, I want to say thank you for amazing the lecture. It was really interesting to yeah. And how you mentioned, I'm not like psychology. I'm not familiar with the psychology and like deeply understanding all this like kind of like nuance. But from my side, I'm just thinking about their like computer business or something else. So before they started, they create the computer games. I'm sure that they are doing some like pre-research, yeah, what the clients want, yeah, and if that you mentioned in the beginner, there's like character is getting like more how to say more functionable, yeah. So
Yes.
we can like choose, we can create everything. So my question, they are working with the psychologist, scientist for
Yes. Yes.
creating, for understanding what clients want, because it's like technology is getting like better and better, and we can understand their reality getting online game is getting like more reality because they are using AI and they are using the kind of like how it calls VR, yeah. So they are working with the psychologist for understanding, deeply understanding what is it, the human being. And
Yes, I work with psychologists, of course, but it's not only psychologists who know who understand this mechanism. Marketologists, of course, they do some I mean, analyze, and gamers before they kind of put the game to sell. I mean, a lot of gamers they play these things, and game designers or such profession. So I mean, it's of course they know these things. I was trying to apply for one of the job to do some research, but I was kind of refused because I'm not a gamer. Because I mean I really I don't play. I mean I told you my experience is like Counter-Strike and Mortal Kombat, but this nothing comparing to this virtual world because to manage this character, it's you really have to know all the things like where to push. I don't know, to pull what to do. So and it's a cyber sport. It's literally now you can earn yeah the money with these things. So they of course do this. Counseling with different people and they see what people play. Now it's very popular. For example, games with open world, as I mentioned before. But for example, some games, they disappeared. And for 20 or 30 years now, we have more kind of games with narratives about more fantasy kind of fantasy genre game. So if to talk about computer classification, before it's like it was not so. I mean, it was, it always was, but now more fantasy genres where something that not happened in reality we see in these computer games happened. What is also popular. They started to create games for girls, as I mentioned, special design for girls. Before it wasn't also so popular. So people are playing, yes, playing games. If not computer games, you are playing, I don't know, basketball, football, cards. I mean, if to remember Roger Caillois, we always play different types of games. Just role computer games is also business, huge business. That's true.
Yeah, correct.
From that perspective.
Gaming and gambling was always
yes,
like sport is a huge business because games are very important in our lives since ancient times.
Yes, true.
We can say that it was very interesting conversation and very interesting presentation, and
yes,
I believe that's it.
Yes. Thank you for participation, for questions, for discussion. Who will be watching us? If you have some questions, you can ask under the video. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Or suggest another meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
We can discuss.
Yes, true. Journal club. I want to do by the way.
Yeah.